Okay, welcome to Icons, and I'm with Anina again. Okay, she was so great. You guys loved her before, and we're gonna sit here and have a conversation about what's going on. Things are moving so fast, Anina, that I prepare a show to do the next day, and the next day things are moving so fast. I got to change the show. Is it, you? How are you doing over there in South Africa?
Good, very, very good. And I feel the same. It's like you think, oh, I'm going to do something around this subject. And then the next day, it's like old news. There's something else happening. So it's quite difficult to keep up. Timelines have definitely speeded up, maybe some timeline jumps, but we can talk about that another time. But it's exciting times. I'm loving it.
Back in April of last year, when they had that so-called eclipse, I got information that that was the shifting of the timelines. The negative one was going to be fading, and the positive one that we're moving on is going to be actually causing some type of like a Mandela effect. You should know what a Mandela effect is.
Yep.
And it's going to be pixelating out of existence, the negative. And it looks like it's happening and it's happening in real time, and people are not realizing that it is even happening. There's still people hanging on to the fear. There's still people still wanting to be collectively in the slave system, and there's others that are just basically going along with the flow. So,
Mm.
how is things over
It's
there?
hard to watch. It's hard to watch, but some of these people, their identities are so tied to this matrix system that they're not prepared to acknowledge that something is wrong and that the system may be false or fake. So it's like cognitive dissonance. They can't entertain it because their identities, their businesses, their life, their reputation, everything that they value in this life, which
Mhm.
is fake actually, because those things are really not important. But for them, it's like their entire life. So it's like cognitive dissonance. No, that can't be. I'm not going there. And, you know, they don't even realize they're doing it.
Most people are inherently selfish and they don't care about nothing but themselves. They don't
True.
look at the world as a collective. You know, we're gonna have to start doing that, even though we're gonna maintain our self-sovereignty. It's gonna be amazing when we basically move out of this old system into the one where we are all considered a republic. We are a republic because a republic looks out for the individual rights of each individual collectively. So a lot of people still don't get it, and we was just talking about this. We got to give it to the negative ones. They have actually pulled this off for so long that people have gotten used to it, to being enslaved, and they don't realize what freedom is, even in what it is. They don't even know what freedom is. They think
Yeah.
freedom is like being able to just watch a football game or go here and travel here. That's not the definition of freedom. Freedom is the right to be left alone too. I mean, you don't have to be a part of their system. Now, I just found out that Anina is just like me. And I told people there's millions of people around the world that has declared their independence from their governments. And I didn't know you had. I know I had, but tell me that story about you. You declared yourself independent from
Yeah.
and
Um,
what happened?
I became very interested in this topic just, I don't know, randomly, maybe 4 years ago. Actually, the first person that inspired me is David Straight, who was,
Right.
running these
I know
programs
him.
in the US. And he did a lot of these seminars. So I listened to a lot of them, like hours and hours of seminars. And I was just like blown away by the information, but it just like resonated with me. And then eventually I was looking for people in South Africa to see, are there anyone in South Africa doing this or, declaring their sovereignty? It doesn't mind the process now because some processes are, anyway, but the concept of correcting your status, as a free living man or woman of the soil So then I found an organization in South Africa that have been doing it for about a decade now, but it was kind of fringe. Nobody, you know, in my community kind of knew what that was, but they were teaching about sovereignty, common law. You know, in South Africa, we call it emancipation. You literally like correct your status and you correct the jurisdiction by making it clear that actually you did not consent to this. You did not consent to be a citizen of the corporation,
Mhm.
the fake corporations that the Rothschilds and etc. set up for us. So because citizen actually means
Yeah,
to be an employee
yeah,
of these
that's
corporations.
exactly what it means. It's a commercial term for employees of a corporation. If you're
Yeah.
a citizen, that's what you are. And a lot of people don't realize that here, even in America, when they took over and made that corporation in DC, called it the United States, and basically America's just slept through that, and they took over, and everything became a commercial process after that, and we don't know that we have a right to contract or not contract with anybody or anything. And
Yeah.
it's very simple. Commercial law goes back over 25,000 years, commercial law. Okay. They can't trump that, but they can trick people into entering into contracts that they don't even know, adhesion contracts, stuff like that. Hey, if I check here and I'm a South African citizen, I will have the rights and privileges of this and that. No, no, you won't. You know what I'm saying?
Those
Uh,
are slave rights, right? Those are
it,
nothing more than slave rights. And
right.
people don't realize that they don't have to be, because the state can't deal with you as a natural woman or man. So they trick you into creating this corporate entity that you think is you.
Hmm.
Some people call the straw man, you know, the bond that is created upon birth when your mother signs or the birth certificate, she basically signs you over to the government. You know, I belong to the government. And that's why today, well, not today, always, uh, you know, organizations like child services and that, you know, etc.,
Hmm.
can actually take the child away because you've legally signed over your child to the government. That means they own the child and they can take that child from you at any time. And we know what they've been up to in terms of trafficking over the last, well, probably decades.
Well, the
So yeah,
whole
they
thing,
actually trick you in contracting with them by making you believe you are this artificial entity with the all caps name, as you know.
the whole thing is trafficking, Anina. I mean, it's human trafficking.
Yeah,
When they take you and create a corporation out of your name and trade it on the market and take control of it without your knowledge. Now, who knows that they're doing this? They don't tell the mother or the father that that's what's going on. So that's a form of human trafficking. It's slavery. Let's call it for what it is. It's commercial slavery, but slavery in any form is not supposed to be allowed on this planet. Okay.
yeah,
And just like you said, the beings that did this ain't their first rodeo. I love the way you say that because they've got so much let's say experience in doing this to other worlds.
yeah.
They did it here and it's seamless. I mean, it's like people don't even know that they're slaves. I mean, you got to tip your hat to them because they have tricked a whole planet, or at least seven continents, into abject commercial slavery. Even the money that we use is negative money. It's not worth shit. Okay, but
Yeah.
just because we feel like it's worth something and we have faith and confidence in this currency, when we're the money, we are the money that is being exploited. Okay,
We are
everything.
the resources of this planet that they wanted to enslave and successfully did enslave. But we know better now, right? But some people, you know, it's just they don't want to see, they just don't want to see, as we spoke earlier, their identity is so attached to their career, their house, their car, their reputation, and the money system and everything that is inside the matrix that it's complete cognitive dissonance. And as you said, actually it's just pure selfishness. You know, they're trying to keep alive that illusion that is in fact an illusion. But yeah, it's a very, very clever system if you think about it. And as we said, we know this planet is not run by humans, or haven't been for the last few thousands of years. And it's not, this race of, we call it reptilians or whatever you want to call it.
And
This
kind.
is not the first planet that they did this to. So it's like a blueprint that they just move on to the next planet. But, and because it's a free will planet, the galactics couldn't really intervene as much as they would have liked. But we finally at a stage where, they can offer that assistance to free us. But like we said, I still, even though things are changing around the world, I think it's very important to declare your sovereignty, because we can never fall into that trap again. We have to know the legal system that we're in. We need to know what's real law, natural law, common law. We need to know that that is the foundation of this fake legal system, and we can live within that system. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's important to understand, because if we don't understand how this planet is run and the rules and how it's come about, we just might be enslaved again. So that's why it's so important for people to empower themselves, and not, of course, what the white hats are doing is very admirable, but they need us to meet them halfway. They've attempted many times to go back to the re-inhabited republic, but it has failed because not enough people have kind of bought into it or realize that the original republic is no longer. We are now living within a fake corporation masquerading as a government all over the planet, not just in the US. And we have to actively disengage from that. It doesn't matter if we at number 99% of the process being flipped, still do it. Don't see it as a waste of time. I've spent thousands of hours learning about common law, natural law, all the different frameworks within that, bills of exchange, and all of these things. And it's fascinating and it's very rewarding.
You
And
know why
at
you
least
did that?
now.
You know why you did that? Because you're gonna be a teacher of this in our new republic. Okay. I know that I am, because why would I be doing this? Why did I learn about this back in the 90s? Why did the universe send me a person like the Supreme Court judge to teach me? Because I wanted to be a lawyer. After I got out of the Marines, after I got injured in the Marines, I was going to come back and continue my law learning and become a lawyer. And he said, "Wait a minute, because he was my best friend's father, and unfortunately, my best friend passed away, and he started talking to me about what's the difference between legal and lawful." And I said, What do you mean? What's the difference? He says, at one time it was legal to own slaves. Was that lawful? And I said, wow, there is a difference. The law is the universal law. The universal law of one, the universal law of sovereignty, the universal law of common law, as you say. What I'm saying? Commercial law. What they do is trick us into commercial realms where we exist as a commercial commodity. What did you say? A citizen. What does a citizen mean? Okay, it's a corporation. It's a member of a corporation. All right, and
Yeah.
you trick people into this, and they did it so seamlessly that people didn't even realize what was happening. And now that they give them this debt money, this operational currency, which is based on us, we think that that's actually wealth when it's not. When we're the wealth, we could make anything money. We can make anything. We can make grains of sand money. We can make anything money. But they put this in front of us like gold and silver is money and money, blah 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 blah. Let's go with that. But let's realize that the money actually in the commodity that they're controlling is us, the soul. The soul is what we're here. We are souls here having a physical experience on this planet in 3D. So that they know that. It's about time we know that. And you're right. Unless we realize who we are, we're just going to end up drifting back into some type of slavery in the future now. So I agree with you. And I am just so amazed that, I'm finding other people like yourself and others around the world that have figured it out and said, hey, I declare my independence from all this crap. I don't need this. And I try to tell people that, if I come out and say like, oh, aliens are killing everybody, I would get like 1 million views. When I come out and says, look, you are free, you should get your sovereignty, you should declare your independence, I'll get like 50 views. I'll get, it's just they're not interested in their own freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it frustrates me, but it's okay. I'm here for the long run. I'm here to help. I understand that they're going through not only cognitive dissonance, they're going through the Stockholm syndrome. They're identifying with their freaking enslavers. They love it, to a certain extent. And then only when
Yeah.
something happens, like what's happening around the world now, when they try to push the jab and everything on people, then people are waking up. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Yeah, we've been trying to tell you that for decades. David Strait, it was one. I like him. You know, and people like us, we figure it out and we're trying to tell you, hey man, you don't have to be a part of that. You can actually be who you really were. I mean, really are a sovereign soul here having an experience, and no one has a right to enslave you. No, I don't care. Whatever system they put up, you don't have to be a part of it. Who said that you have to be a part of the government? Where is the law that said that they don't own the world. They don't own America. They don't own South Africa. Whoever's in control of the government, they don't own shit. They can claim they own it, but they don't, and they definitely
Yeah.
don't own us.
It's
So,
like who decided that we needed to buy land from them? Like where did they buy it from? Or where
yeah,
did they get it from? Can we go back into that history?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
they can't tell us. It's
that's
just the
right.
way it is, right? And we have to just accept that. We're the only creatures on this planet that has to pay
To
to
live on.
be on this planet. Like
Mhm.
the birds, they sit in the tree. They don't pay rent, you know? It's like no, you have to provide these services and then you can sit on the tree. Like, I don't think so. And why did we get fooled into this nonsense? It's like absolutely ridiculous. And I always mention the experiment, the flea experiment. They put a bunch of fleas in a jar and they put the lid on. So the fleas couldn't, jump out. So they left it for long enough. Eventually, they took the lid off. Well, the fleas didn't jump out. They were still not just jumping this high. And
Yeah.
they were just accepting, they live in the jar and that's what it is. And then, by the third generation, that kind of indoctrination started wearing off and the
Right.
fleas started jumping out.
And
So,
if
but
yeah,
that is our planet. People don't know they're free. They don't know they can get out of the jar and can be free and sovereign. And they think the government, oh no, they're so scared of the government because the government did a really good job at scaring people, right? It made examples of people
yeah, yeah,
trying to be sovereign.
yeah. I want to meet this government, I tell people, right? And they look at me like I'm crazy. I says, well, the government did this, the government did that. The government didn't do shit, okay? Because the government is just a thought in your mind. It's just a social construct, okay? It's people that pretend to be working in the government that's doing it to you. You always got to go back to the source. I said, listen, the government is not doing anything to you. What do you mean? The government? I says, tell me how the government does it. Well, if you do this, we break this and we have to go here and you. I said, well, who's doing it to you? Is it the government or is it the person that's supposed to be working in the government, using government against you, is doing it? Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, yeah. So you get down, there's always a little bit of cognitive dissonance that people still have to get through. And I like the way you said it's like the third generation usually catches on. I'm in that generation, so are you. Okay, from the 1870s to now, that'll be something like
Well,
the
we also have the rebel gene because look around us, those generations are not jumping out of the jar. So I think some of us just got the rebel gene,
Yeah, you're
we're
right.
just
Some
like,
of I think some as souls we volunteered to come here and help do this transformation,
Yeah.
bring Christ consciousness, which is universal consciousness, to this planet because that's what's missing, and bring the
Yeah.
feminine energy back. A lot of people don't know that there's an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy on this planet. The masculine energy has caused all these wars. They are not nurturing, okay? And the feminine energy has been suppressed, okay? And we need that to be equal. And we don't need the female to be up here and the male down here, or the male up here and the female down. We need it to be balanced, okay? And
Exactly.
that's what we are doing at this point in time, you know. And it's
Yeah.
amazing. What's going on in South Africa is an example. Yes, there was apartheid and all this crap. Now they're out there killing people for their land and all this stuff. What state of conditioning is going on there in South Africa now? Could you get us up to date? What part of South Africa are you in? I mean, are you in the bad part or the good part?
I'm in Cape Town. I mean, it's,
Mhm.
I'm,
Is
never
there-
scared or anything like that. Of course, there's crime, but I've never been someone who's scared in my life. And, for the most part, most of us live a pretty good life. These are kind of slightly more isolated cases, although they do happen a lot. And of course,
Mhm.
all these farm murders are instigated by the new world order globalists that just like when they brought in Mandela to free the people, that was a military operation.
That's,
Again,
yeah,
there
that
was
was
no
a psyop.
freedom there. In fact, the whole Mandela effect came from because he really did die
Uh-huh.
in prison.
Uh-huh.
And they got an actor from Mozambique to play the role of Mandela. He was actually from Mozambique, and that's why he later married a Mozambican woman. His name is James Makamba, and he played the role of Mandela for the globalists in Europe, the Rothschilds, and all the we know that it goes just go higher and higher, but let's just call it the Rothschilds. And they put that actor there and they gave him all the scripts to read. And of course, you know, the black people of South Africa felt liberated, but they were just fooled like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
That was a whole strategy just to bring in, because then they realized they can control these new leaders just like they did the old ones through bribery and corruption.
Mm-hmm.
So all the new leaders that came in, including the Mandela figure, just executed the strategy of the globalists in a very kind of, clandestine way. And they were just looking to destroy the country and all the infrastructure so that they can, that's how they do the coup d'etats that they have in so many different countries. And they just take over these countries and they destroy them, and then they supposedly come in as the savior to create some order and structure,
Yeah.
and they put people against one another that actually were living pretty much in harmony. I mean, I know apartheid and all that was there and it was wrong, but a lot of even black people now are saying, well, actually we lived much better during apartheid years than we do now. Now, obviously, that segregation is wrong, from the outset. But the way things are now, I mean, the poverty in this country is unbelievable, and they fuel things like crime as well, because it's just corruption and crime everywhere. Although it's a beautiful country, people love. I mean, we've had such an influx of Germans and Russians. They just buy up all the houses here in Cape Town. Property prices are sky high because the quality of living is amazing. So I'm saying this whilst, it's not like all chaos and destruction. It's still a very beautiful country with amazing places and amazing things to offer. But for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
the economy has kind of been destroyed, and corruption is just through the roof. But the good news is that now Trump has actually mentioned South Africa this week, finally. So we feel like the spotlight is shifting to South Africa finally. And South Africa is an important country because it used to be one of the wealthiest countries in the world. The
Yes.
gold and the diamonds and the resources that we have is just, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We bailed out all the big banks in the US back in the 90s. The then government instigated all of it and, funneled all of the gold through when I think there was a banking crash or something happening in the 90s. I don't recall what year. So, it was in their interest to keep those very valuable resources under control. But now that Trump is focusing on South Africa, I think he's using the farm murders and the expropriation of land without compensation as just as a in kind of.
Right.
And I find it so funny. It's just like clockwork. Of course, the president had to say something, during the last week. And as I said in my last video, um, it's perfectly timed. All of this is perfectly timed
Mhm.
for the show and the spotlight to move to South Africa, because just like Canada and Mexico and Greenland, Trump and the military operation over there is going to help free South Africa by using his muscle. We've got huge trade agreements with the US, like the AGOA, where there's no tax exporting into the US. What
Well,
if Trump attacks that next? It's like going to be over for South Africa. So
the way I
interesting times.
the way I see it, South Africa is already part of the BRICS nation. And
Yeah,
BRICS nation is actually the ones that are going forward with this currency reevaluation, where all money is going to be based by a commodity, gold, silver, or whatever is a commodity in that country. And then they're going to move forward to eliminating the Rothschild banking system. I know it's not the Rothschild banking system. It's called the SWIFT system. It's called the WEF, whatever. But we all know that system is a negative system. And in order for we the people of planet Earth to move forward, we have to get out of and eliminate all these slavery systems that's been set up to enslave us. And one of them is the monetary system. Okay. I don't know why it's so hard for people not to see that. Okay. In order for us to be free, we have to be free of the mechanism that keeps us enslaved, which is the monetary at this point and the legal, but we're going to take one at a time. But there's 17 systems that I heard that this operation was taking back from the cabal. Okay. And the 17 system, okay, 17, Q, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into that right here, but you see that these countries that have been coinciding with Russia, China, the BRICS nations, as I say, there's been a lot of people don't know that there's over 150 something countries that have joined BRICS, and America is one of them. And Trump is just playing a role now just to get us to
exactly.
basically to be able to join the rest of the world, and we all gonna go into like you said in the beginning, we all gonna become all countries gonna become a republic on its own. Canada is flip. People that sleep in Canada are flipping out because Trump says he wants Canada to become the 51st state. He's
He's
just
just a
basically,
tyrant that wants to rule the
yeah, he
world.
wants to rule the world. He wants to take over the Gaza Strip. It's going to become the MAGA Strip. It's going to become Gaza Alago or whatever. I've been seeing that. But people got to realize this is the way that they have been doing it. And Trump is he's a good animator. Okay, he's a good person to have the lead spoke because he's funny. He's trolling the deep state. He's saying like we already got this. I think they already did it. And what they were
Yeah,
doing was implementing the quantum system behind the scenes, because we've been given the gift of the universe, which is quantum physics. Okay, to really know how deep this goes, one has to understand that quantum physics is going to be the way of the future. Okay, where we
exactly.
could have, we could have our self-sovereignty all conditioned on the quantum basic system, which will be no way where you could rob, steal, and cheat and all this. Every one of us will be a bank upon ourselves, which is the way it's supposed to be. We shouldn't have had a central bank nowhere.
Yeah,
We should have our control of our own assets and what we call money. And then eventually it's going to fade away where money is going to be unuseful.
obsolete.
Yeah, obsolete, yes. But
Yeah,
at this point, we're gonna have to get these people, we're gonna have to get the people into a system where they can really move forward to the liberation of the planet. And people don't see it that way. I mean, you see things happening in China, you know, people don't know that the Communist Party of China was only like 1% of that country. It was only
Yeah.
like 100
Not
million.
like the whole country. Oh,
It wasn't
China's
the whole
bad.
country, you know.
And who put the CCP there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know who put it
Rothschild.
there? The European bankers and whatever. They're the ones who um fund all these people,
Yeah.
because China was going through some stuff back 30, I think 30, 40 years ago, and they had this battle between communism and capitalism going on over there. They do that, the so-called rulers do this in every country. They destabilize it, then they take it over. Oh, we got the solution. And
Yeah.
that solution is basically commercial slavery. And they do it in every, just like you said in the beginning, every country is a part of this system, you know except for the ones that are not, like Russia. You remember Russia? Russia used to be a part of that too, and they broke
Yeah.
away from it. Now, why do you think, here in America at least, we are being taught to hate Russia?
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't have a Rothschild central banking system in it, we are told to hate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dangerous. But
We're
dangerous
told
to the democracy.
yeah,
And it's so funny to watch with Trump is like uh still trying to maintain our Russia, Russia. Meanwhile, we know he's working with Putin in the background and have been for a
right.
long time.
And cheap. The
Yeah.
three most powerful countries band together to get rid of the mankind, the aliens or whatever, the half the half breeds, which what we are seeing now. You're seeing a whole lot of half breeds, the minions,
Yeah.
hybrids is what they're called, hybrids. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the hierarchy has already been thrown off. I really do. What do you think? I think they're gone.
Yeah. The top of the pyramid, I think, is already gone. What we're dealing with
Yes.
now are very dangerous minions
Yes.
that actually some of them don't even know. They just fully believe in what they are doing is the right thing because,
Mm-hmm.
that malevolent alien species have convinced them that this is for the good of the planet. So some of them actually believe in that. That's why they're so passionate when they speak about, the New World Order. For them, it's the best thing since sliced cheese. There are those that know exactly what they're doing, but others are so indoctrinated themselves, they literally prop up the system. And those are the minions that we have to get rid of because they are fighting for their very survival right now.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
you
So
know,
I got information last night that when Trump said he wants to take over Gaza and all that, that's just pantomime, and
yeah,
that's what they're telling us. But that whole war and that whole Ukraine war was ridding the earth of the minions that was living underground in tunnels and in cities and deep underground military bases. That's what they've been
yeah,
destroying all this time. COVID-19 was used as a cover to do this also, where they locked down
yeah.
the world. Okay. And they used that as a cover. And I know people were saying, well, there was really a deadly virus. Yes, there was something out there, a bioweapon that were killing people, but in order to not have billions die, they had to do it this way.
Exactly.
You know, we would not even be sitting here talking. You dig what I'm saying, and Anina? So
Yeah.
yes, and just having them realize that is like pulling teeth. So you just got to show them, and I think this thing is war is becoming more overt now, especially here in America, because people are beginning to wake up. Wait a minute, planes are falling out of the sky, helicopters are running into planes, all this crap that's going on in California with the wildfires and all this stuff is going on. What is going on here? And information is coming out that's never been released before. You know, aliens, UFO. You see the so-called UAPs that's flying all over the East Coast and all over America, and people are filming them and they're morphing into different shapes and all this other crap. People are waking
Yeah.
up now, and I think they're doing it. like that on purpose. Well, I don't think I know
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
like to see these narratives in advance. They're not, I'm trying to explain to people, they're not just going to come out and say, ooh, this is what's happening. They can't because people will freak out. So they
mm,
plant these seeds, they seed the narrative, they start desensitizing people to the idea of UFOs and extraterrestrial races. And they have to do it that way. Otherwise, it's not going to go down too
I
well.
I think a lot of why they doing it this way also is because of what you mentioned earlier about the minions, okay? They're dangerous, okay? So they have to incorporate that into the equation, all right? How not to cause the minions to cause some type of calamity, some type of false flag that will kill a lot of people. They had to make sure that they didn't have the means to have a dirty nuke, release a deadly virus, pathogen, bioweapon. Okay, they had to make sure that was all out of the way. Now that that's all cleaned up, okay, now I think they can take control a little bit more and usher in incrementally the new world, the get rid of the old world order and replacing it with the new republic order that we are going through, and but people are still going to freak out, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. People are going to freak out, right? So let's keep the freak out to a minimum. That's what we're trying to hope, and that's where we come in, Anina. We're going to have to be there because why did we wake up first? Ask yourself that question. You know,
Yeah.
99% of the people on this planet is not awake, but there's a fraction of us that are awake and saying, why? Because you were chosen. Matter of fact, you chose yourself to come here and wake up
Exactly.
to help this transformation. I
Yeah.
mean, it's time for to take responsibility for who we are. We are, I mean, as a, I've never been to this planet to me, in my soul travels, I've never been here. And a lot of souls have indication that they have lived a life here. They came here to have a vacation or whatever as a soul and got trapped. In the soul trap. Now I hear the soul trap is gone. So basically, we're here to free humanity from themselves. Humanity has become actually the slaves and the wardens of their own world. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's amazing to look at it that way, but that's what we create our own reality collectively and individually, all right? And we enslave ourselves collectively and individually. You know what I'm saying? We allow that to happen. We allow because these people couldn't do nothing to us if we really didn't allow it. We didn't consent.
Yeah.
They need our consent.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And well, what about the army? What about this? They don't have an army. They don't have a military.
Yeah, we
The
are the 99%. If
Yes,
all of us join hands now together,
right.
the gig is up now. It's over.
They will
There's
use
no
us.
scarcity on
Yes.
this planet,
Yeah.
but we're fooled into thinking there's all sorts of scarcity. There isn't enough, and there's too many people, and this
Oh,
poverty is just something we have to accept, and
yeah.
it's
Great.
not.
And that is even going to be just blown away because from what my research is, Anina, this world is like 4 or 5 times bigger than what we even know.
Yes,
We got things going on beyond the ice wall and beyond this and that we don't even know. And I think a lot
exactly.
of these people in civilizations beyond what we don't see are actually here help because they got some skin in the game too. We're
Yeah,
not gonna let these idiots blow this planet up like they blown up other planets that they couldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Oh, if I can't have it, no one can. Boom and blow it up. You know what I'm saying? That's what the asteroid
And
belt.
actually, the whole galaxy is dependent on us
Yeah,
ascending out of the darkness finally. And
yeah,
it's like a huge galactic experiment. Never has a planet fallen so far, like into 3D, and managed to pull itself up organically up into 5D plus.
right.
It's never happened. So it's like the biggest cosmic experiment. It's like the biggest event in 19 billion years on this planet,
Yeah,
and we were born for, we came for this. Isn't that exciting?
it is
Like people
exciting.
shouldn't lose sight because I think everyone that's watching this information is, part of that group that came here to on this rescue mission to Earth.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
interested in these topics, most definitely you are, and you have a role to play. And now is not the time to become doubtful, to become negative. I see a lot of people, oh, but Trump is now bringing in, oh, AI, 500 billion, and these like techno pedos and mRNA for cancers and all these things. And it's like, oh no, did we make a big mistake? It's like, just be patient, guys, because this is 5D chess, or as you like to call it, quantum chess.
Hmm.
Just allow the pieces to fall where they will. Reserve judgment because it is going to make sense sooner than later.
It really just pisses me off because people really think that Trump is some type of king, that he could just usher in this whole thing by himself, okay, with no help from anybody else, and we just got to
Yeah.
follow whatever that is the slave mentality that we're trying to get rid of. And stop. People always default to fear when they don't know what's going on. It's already
Yeah.
automatically fear. Oh my God, this quantum stuff. Did you hear what Trump said the other day? Did you hear what the guy said behind him that we could buy vaccines and then all this other crap? They're going crazy over that because the guy said, for example, if we bought $1 billion dollars worth of $1 billion vaccines, blah, blah, blah. He was just giving an example. And why would he do that? Because he was actually telling the vaccine companies, you're done. You finish, okay? You're not
Did
gonna
you see their stocks fall in the last 2 days?
well,
Pfizer and Moderna. It's like,
I think the military has already taken over these companies.
yeah,
All the ones that was out there trying to put the poison jab in us, and all these companies that were actually undermining the United States election. Okay, Trump's executive order 13848 was still in effect, and 13818 was still in effect. So I think that all these companies like Twitter, Facebook, um, Amazon, all these global companies that had the media corporations in their pocket, they're done. I think the military has taken over that, and it's now being used to basically enlighten the people a little bit, step at a time, a step at a time. Never in before in the history of our country here in America has a president come in on day one to day what? What's the date? 15, 16? And he's done so much that it's like amazing. You just can't keep up with it. It's warp speed. The storm. We're in the storm and we don't even know it. Okay.
crazy.
And Trump is doing in alliance is doing amazing things that's gonna basically bring forth this liberation. And we just have to basically help them, like you said, and be receptive to what is gonna be coming forth. This is all gonna be good. Trump says the golden age, you know who the gold is? We are. The golden age is us. The golden thread of life runs through each soul here, and it
Yeah.
connects soul together as one. Now, there's beings out there that don't have a soul. Those are the ones that we don't need. We can't live with these people. Man versus mankind. Mankind has been trying to kill off man, okay? Forever. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. We can't coexist together. So we got to basically move on from that. And these people are gonna have to go bye-bye if they can't. There's no way that we're gonna keep these people around that wants to kill us. Worship death. I mean, and they're actually I got information about this AI, God that they call Satan. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got to get rid of that too. Now,
Yeah.
there's good AI and there's bad AI. There's good
Yeah.
reptilians, there's bad reptilians. There's good humans, there's bad humans. There's the
Yeah.
opposite of everything. So what do you want us to have? I mean, what do we want us to have? Okay. So we're moving forward with, and we're not. I'm done with these people that still don't get it, Anina. I am. I'm done. I've been.
Yeah. I think I'm done as well. I can't witness it anymore.
I'm just done. You know. Oh, well, what about this, Sarge? What about this? Listen, how do I get myself sovereignty, Sarge? You don't have to ask nobody for it. You just declare it. That's all you do. You are sovereign.
Yeah.
You know,
You
you
don't
don't
need approval.
You don't need nobody's approval. If you need somebody's approval, you're not sovereign. Okay? Duh.
Exactly.
Okay? So you just declare who you are. And you tell people, and they can't do anything about it. Who can tell you that you're not sovereign? I'll wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I even tell the parking guards collecting, you know, money to park along the road. I said, can you show me the contract I have with the government? Because I don't recall seeing it, so I don't pay for parking.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
And they
And
leave
they
me
think,
alone.
and the slaves think that collectively they can basically force a contract on you and you got to be a part of it. No, I don't. Show me that law that I have to be a
Yeah.
part of this social construct. Okay? Show me that.
Yeah.
I did that in court. I asked the judge, show me the law that you could take my freaking property. Show me the law where I signed that I gave you control over my property and I got to pay you taxes on. Show me
Mhm.
that law.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying show me no statute, code, or policy. I want a law. And how did they, and I want to know who made this law and I want to know how did they get control over it. Show me that. And that's all you got to do. You got to stand in your self-sovereignty. That's what you were born with. People have been tricked into giving it away, but once you get it back, shoo-wee, it is powerful, and
Yeah.
I'm so tell me the story about you said that they asked you some you was telling me this story about when you declared your sovereignty, right? What happened?
Yeah. So with the uh we have SARS, which is like the IRS here. And I think that's always the big test, because when you declare your sovereignty,
Hmm.
you're not a taxpayer anymore, right? You don't pay them tax because you've corrected your status and you don't owe them anything. You do not consent. So, when I saw the property last year, I think it was last year or the year before, um, the state agent was saying, oh, there's this amount outstanding with SARS, which is just like fines, we have to pay it from the proceeds. So I said, absolutely not. You will not do that. So I went into their offices and I showed them my paperwork and I said, this is what was sent to your CEO and the Minister of Finance. I am no longer under your jurisdiction. And they wrote the fines off. But then that didn't register, So anyway, long story short, I insisted, insisted, insisted. Eventually I said, okay, yes, we found the paperwork. It's fine. You don't owe anything. And they tried again. There's always some minions in the office, when they're
Yeah,
on their
yeah.
cash collection drive. Somebody sent me an email. It's come to our attention that you know, whatever, whatever. So
Hmm.
I sent in the paperwork. I said, sorry, you must be mistaken because I'm not under your jurisdiction. Here's the paperwork. I am sovereign. And the guy actually replied and said, oh, okay, thank you. May I ask why you don't want to be something like, why don't you want to be a taxpayer anymore? It's
Yeah,
like, are
yeah,
you kidding? Are you really seriously asking me that question?
yeah.
And people are just so scared and like stop being scared because if you feel that sovereignty in your soul,
Can't be
like
scared. No,
nothing
you
can
can't.
mess with that.
No,
I'm
you can't.
sorry, nothing can mess with that. They
Nothing.
can send me anyone. I will give him,
Yes.
I will
And
read him as
it becomes ingrained into your persona. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I wake up in the morning, I have no worries that I'm going to be enslaved by any of these people. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any. That's not even part. I'm more worried about the collective, uh, uh, um, let's say, balance of the planet now. I am.
yeah,
It's not about me.
tipping the scales.
Yes. It's not about me anymore. It's more of a collective worry that I have. And it's not even a worry because I see the good guys are taking care of business. If they wasn't taking care of business, me and you wouldn't be here talking, Anina. Okay. We
Yeah,
would be in some type of camp, or
yeah,
not be able to communicate with one another like we have. And all this information is coming out about the crooks and the criminality that has been going, it wouldn't be coming out. So every
yeah,
day when I see something new come out, I'm saying, okay, the plan is working. The
yeah.
movement is working. The military is doing
Some
it.
people still think it's just a controlled opposition. Have you ever seen such a elaborate plan if it was a controlled opposition? I mean, they could have had us by the throats long time ago. Why
Yeah,
would they?
yeah. Why would they do
It's
this? Yeah, yeah,
like you always say, everyone should become a pattern recognition specialist. We all have to switch on our critical thinking gene and think through this critically, and you will get to the answer,
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
You
they
don't
want to
have to
call
believe
us.
what anyone else says to you.
Yeah, yeah. I got sick of people calling me a conspiracy theorist. I said, no, I'm not, because I recognize patterns. And I say, that's a good term, pattern recognition specialist. That's what we are.
Yeah.
We recognize patterns and we see something that's going on, and we're not stupid. We see that, oh, it's going to cause this. Okay. So we recognize incidents and patterns in your behavior. And it behooves us to be aware of this because you're going to do it to us again. No, we're not. Like with the jab shit. Okay. We saw this happen before. No, we're not going to do this. No, we're not going to. And they're still trying to do it. Bird flu, avian flu, all this other crap. Come on, man. This is one thing that we have an advantage. They're not creative at all.
Yeah.
Have to do shit over and over. I tell people that history doesn't repeat itself. People repeat history. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make us repeat history that we've already went through. And there's still people out there that's willing to do it, but we're not falling for it. Good thing that we're not, because we're the saviors of the. I'm not saying that we have. No, but we are actually the ones that saying, "Screw you." Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not taking nothing in my body. You don't control me. I see people over here in America, "Oh, my body, my choice," except for when it comes to the vaccines. It's you know what I'm saying? Then you got to put it in your body. No, I don't. Okay. Screw you. All right. See, now when this information comes out, which I think has got to come out to shock the world, when they see that there was a bunch of people that was trying to murder humanity, that's gonna shock them. And they're gonna
Yeah.
know, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off because a lot of people lost their wives, their mothers, their fathers, their children.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, so they got to do this very, very easily so that they don't
Exactly.
have, yeah, so they don't have like a revolution that's the scale that they can't control. Because even our military won't be able to control that if people get, oh,
Yeah.
Fauci was oh my God, they would have doctors and nurses hanging from trees and all this other crap,
Exactly.
you know, you know.
Exactly.
So we got
And
to,
that's why RFK, he has to kind of play the neutral part right now
right.
by saying, no, he's not against,
Yes,
the
yes,
jabs.
yeah.
What we know he actually is, but he can't
Yes.
say that. Otherwise, he won't get into that seat. So just be patient. Everyone is saying, oh, it's just like
Oh, he's going to get into
not
the
a
seat
controlled
regardless.
opposition.
He's going to get into the seat. It's just that the collective consciousness of America is not ready for that
Yeah.
yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he comes out and say, "Oh, all vaccines," people will start like, "What the hell? So why are they putting it in our babies?" Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
You get 70 vaccinations before you're 5. What the hell is that?
Crazy.
That's crazy. People don't realize that we went millions of years without a vaccine, but now all of a sudden you need vaccines to survive, to move forward. Get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. He could, I think that this is just a show, this part now where we got to go through this confirmation. Please. I don't want to hear it. All of the people that Trump wants and gets, he's going to already be approved. It doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah.
Even if they don't approve him, I told people that he can assign people to work temporarily, like acting for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like he could have an acting attorney general or an acting health inspector or whatever RFK is going to be, and he could act for 6 months, and then he could renew it after 6 months. He doesn't need to be
Yeah.
confirmed by Congress or whatever, but they're doing it the correct way now so that all people won't get all upset and butthurt. It's
You got
crazy.
to do this slowly,
Yeah,
unfortunately. And
yeah,
just think about the word acting while you're at it.
yes,
We've just come to accept the word acting.
right.
What is acting? Where does that come from? Well, they're all acting. It's all a
Yeah,
a
But it's
stage play.
yes, everything is a play. Everybody's acting. Even Trump, he's acting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, this is so amazing. It is so beautiful to watch, though, because this ain't our first rodeo, Anina. I think this is not our first rodeo. We've been to other
No.
planets. You know, they
We
didn't pick
came
no.
here because we did it before, right? They're not
Yeah,
going to send the rookies.
they're
They're
not
going
gonna
to
say
send the ones who've done this before.
right,
Even though we still forgot everything, there would
yeah,
be like a faint memory that we would
right.
say, no, we're going to,
And
it's like a
something in
subconscious
this life,
knowing.
something in this incarnation triggered you to say, "Wait a minute, I've done this before. I'm self. Hey, good." And just like with me,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And we all and collectively around the world, there's millions of us. Okay. And
Yeah.
we're not doing this alone. No, it's so yeah, they didn't pick no rookies, because you wouldn't be able to they'll get caught in the soul trap and be just like the people that we're trying to rescue, you know. And yeah, it is amazing to watch. So how
And
long have we been talking? We just get carried
quite a
away.
while.
Uh,
I guess we need to start wrapping this up, but
yeah,
no,
yeah,
we could speak for another 5 hours, but let's not.
yeah,
We can
yeah.
do it. We
It's
can
so
carry on next time.
it's so easy to communicate with those that are, I don't like to say on our level, but have the awakening moment in their lives. Okay,
Yeah.
it's easy to talk to us.
And also, the fact of the matter is, like we said before, we probably knew each other in another life. So there is that recognition and that resonance as well, you
Right.
know?
And it's
So
so good. It is so
done.
good. It doesn't matter where you're at. You're in South Africa. I'm in America. I'm a different culture. You're a different culture. It doesn't matter. We're souls. See, we unite as souls. I realize
Yeah.
people get caught up in this colorism and this nationalism and all this. I'm not. I'm beyond that. So are you. I know you are.
Yeah.
We're
We've all
beyond that.
played all of the roles,
Yes.
all of the
Yes.
cultures, all of the
Hmm.
uh, colors, we've played it all.
We played it
And,
all. I mean,
there's a secondary reason why we chose this particular body or whatever, or the location even that we are.
mhm.
But that is secondary. It's just a role we chose to play because of something else that we also needed to carry out to influence the area that we're in, to uplift it,
Mhm.
subconsciously. You don't even have to speak to anyone. Your mere presence is doing that.
Yeah.
And, that goes for everyone who listens to this. Your mere presence, your mere level of consciousness is
Yeah.
helping the collective.
That is amazing because I went into when the COVID thing was talking about wearing the mask. I
Mm.
went into a store and guy was saying, "You got to put on your mask," and I said, "No, I don't. I don't have to do nothing,"
Mm.
And there were people around and they stopped doing what they were doing and they were watching me, and I said, "I don't wear masks. I don't have to," and they listen. And when I looked around, they were looking at me, and people was like, nodding with approval, but they had their
Mm.
masks on. I said, "You trying to kill me? Are you trying to kill me?" Blah, blah, blah. It was a long story, but you're right. That presence that when you have, it attracts. I don't even know how to
It's
describe
like
it.
the hundredth monkey effect.
Yes.
Suddenly, you subconsciously give them the permission slip to do the same
Oh,
without
really?
even,
Okay. That could be. That could be.
yeah.
You know.
So let's
So
keep doing what we're doing.
I see it happening here because read the comments and it looks like the comments in our videos. You know, people saying, "Sarge, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel so good when you're talking and blah blah blah." I don't know I'm doing that. It's like I'm just being me. So yeah, so whatever it is that excites you to become self-sovereign and in control of your own life, I'm for. I don't care. I use humor sometimes. I don't use humor as much as I used to, but humor is like a salve. You're putting it on a wound. It's like a salve. I use that as a way to ease in the transition sometimes and to get a message across. So,
Yeah,
it's a technique that is very hard to master, but it's just natural to me. It's just like I'm
I
naturally
can see that.
see the humor in everything because it's funny. Once you're looking at
Yeah,
this, it's actually funny to think that people are actually okay with being slaves. I mean, I just don't get it. It's funny. Well, you keep your
yeah.
slavery to yourself, and I'm gonna move on. That's what I used to say. People laugh at that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, it's just the way that we are all collectively waking up, and it's amazing in it. And I'm glad I found you, Anina, and we're gonna have more of these conversations. I want to invite you to my get together on Fridays. I don't know if I'm gonna have one this Friday, but we could all get together and we all collectively talk and raise the bar. You know what I'm saying? So, I
Sounds
did that
good.
last Friday with a bunch of admins. So you're welcome if you want to come.
That sounds good. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that it uplifts everyone. The humor is so important actually, more than people realize.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you go.
It was
We
great to
both
see
got
you
our time.
again.
I don't even know how we're doing this. We both was on a different timeline until we got to be on the same now because you was missing time, I was missing time. I didn't know what day it was. You didn't know what day it was. I think that's a part of the timeline that we're on. Time is becoming more and more useless.
Yeah, malleable.
Yeah, yeah. It's not even valuable to me anymore. It's like what is time? Because we created time. Time is not a thing.
Yeah, linear time doesn't actually exist. But
Yes, that's right.
anyway, that's a subject for another day.
That's a judgment. Yeah, you're right. We don't want to blow people's mind. Oh, what do you mean there's no time, Sarge? Yeah, there's only the now. But anyway, uh, thank you for talking to me. And
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Sarge.
yeah, yeah, thank you. All right. And anything else you want to say before we move on?
I think that's it. People just need to remain focused and, remember to uplift your spirits every day.
Mm-hmm.
Choose the timeline you want to be on because you have that choice. You make that choice in every moment. You
Oh,
can choose a high timeline or a low timeline. It's
I knew
entirely your choice.
I knew what I forgot. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I knew what I forgot because when we was talking about Gaza, and we Trump said he was going to take over Gaza. Okay. For what I'm hearing from my military contacts is that over the past week there was a mutiny in Israel and over there. They are not gonna fight the war anymore. There's over 100,000 soldiers just walked off. Okay, they said
Oh,
they're done. They're not killing people anymore, and that is
wow.
beautiful to see. That is beautiful. I don't know if that's part of the White Hat operation, but it just warms my heart that people said we're tired of killing each other. That's what
Yeah.
one guy said. He's
Wow.
tired of killing each, and they walked off. They're not going to fight anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think
That's
that's
amazing.
coincidental with the ceasefire because Trump and them called the ceasefire. They already knew that it was going to be that these people, they wasn't going to do. Now, what were really going on was they were going after the bad guys over there, in these tunnels and wherever the underground cities that they had. I think that's done over there too. So
How
that's
to get
good
access to
news.
it, right?
Good news. Good news. And
Absolutely.
Trump just said the other day that Israel was the tip of the spear. And the tip of the
Yeah.
spear is what you remove. So that's good. And then you
Yeah.
got Netanyahu coming yesterday, and he's looking like he doesn't even look like the old Netanyahu, but I'm not gonna say anything about that. But
Yeah, people just need to know everything is not as it seems. Just hold on, wait
hold on.
before
Yeah.
jumping to conclusions. It's all going to make sense in time.
Yes. All right. Good luck over there on YouTube. All right. I
Awesome.
think YouTube has been liberated. That was my old stomping ground. So I don't know if I'm coming back to that neighborhood, but I'll let you handle YouTube now. All right.
Yeah, I'll still tread carefully. I still have an active strike until tomorrow. I think the 3 month strike
They still
expires.
giving out strikes. They must.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know
I
much.
don't know. Maybe they stopped now, but mine is from 3 months ago. Anyway,
Oh.
hopefully YouTube is liberated now.
All right.
Anyway, Sarge, good to see you.
It's nice to see you too. So take care and nice talking to you.
You too.
Till
See you
we meet.
soon.